Since its inception in 1976, the Honda Accord has been a staple of the mid-size sedan market, and for good reason. This thing has been on Car and Driver's top 10 best list for 31 different times during its storied history. And these things are a great value, starting at just under $24,000. This one here is the 2.0 Turbo Sport model, starting at just over $30,700. Is it any good? Let's take a look. But first, a huge thanks to Jim Coleman Honda for letting us check out this Honda Accord. They're very nice folks, especially Andy. He helped us get this car and make a video of it. Very nice of them. And they just remodeled their showroom. It looks awesome. They have a Civic Type R in there. Super cool car. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. It helps us a lot. We make weekly videos just like this. All right, let's get into this vehicle. So we're gonna start here on the front of the Accord, and this car got a major redesign for the 2018 model year, and not too much has changed since then. You have this dark chrome strip right here, which looks very nice, nicely integrating your Honda badge, sort of running around that. Moving down, you have your headlights right here. I don't have too much to say about them. You have a nice light strip that sort of runs like this, and they have an interesting sort of, I'm not sure what to call it. They almost remind me of shells, like shellfish, sort of curved together, stacked one on top of another. Then you have your grille right here. I personally do not like gaping grills like this. However, I know quite a few people do. I don't think this is atrocious. I think it looks fine. It's just not my personal style. But I'm not gonna knack it for that because that's just a personal thing. Moving down from that, you have sort of this nice integration of metal right here. It almost reminds me of cloth, like sort of folding on top of each other. It's very nice how these two pieces of metal sort of play together, like this lower lip and this upper piece of the body right here. I like it quite a bit. You then do actually have sort of a functional air vent right here, a air curtain, if you will, which is very nice. Other than that, there's not too much to say about this. It does look sporty. It does look pretty good. Here we are at the side of the Accord. Let's take a look. I like this gray color. It's not very flashy, but it's a nice dark gray. Down here you have these nice 19-inch alloy tires. They are wrapped, or wheels, excuse me, they are wrapped in 235 tires. They look very nice. They look very Honda to me. They definitely have that corporate design language. Moving down here, you have your nice gray cap mirrors, their body color with a little bit of black under. I would like some LED turn signals at around the $30,000 mark, but that's okay. It's not like a deal breaker. You have this nice chrome strip running down the vehicle. It runs pretty much the whole length of the windows. It's very nice. It's like a darker chrome. It's not super flashy. Not too much to say about the rest of the side, other than you have this nice body line down here, giving the vehicle some nice depth. And then as we move to the side, you can see the end of this right here. You can see the end of this silver trim, this chrome trim, excuse me. It kind of grows out. I like that they just didn't end it. You have sort of a weird window kink right here. I personally did not like it at first, but it has grown on me as I've seen the vehicle in real life. That's more of a personal touch. I do prefer this to the floating roof design. Thank you, Honda, for not doing the floating roof design here. That you all know how I feel about that look if you've watched some of our other videos. You have those 19-inch alloy wheels back here. Otherwise, not too much to say about the side of this car. It's just a very handsome, normal looking vehicle. Here we are at the rear of the Accord, and folks, the story here is really the same as with the rest of the vehicle. It's just a good looking, handsome car. Nothing exquisite, nothing out of this world, but that's what you want with this car. You just want a normal, good looking vehicle. You do have a little antenna fin up here instead of like a black stick, which is nice. A lot of cars do this now. I just think it's a nice clean look. Moving down from there, you have your spoiler right here. It's nice that they do this on the Sport. It's just a small little spoiler right on top of your trunk lid. Nothing, it's not going to give you any performance benefit, but it's just a nice aesthetic thing. You have your Honda lobster claw taillights here, which do wrap around the side a bit. I personally like the look of these. I know they can be a bit controversial in the car world. I personally have no issue with them. I think it's a unique design to Honda, and you know when you're driving behind this car that it is in fact a Honda. You have your 2-liter turbo sport badges right here. Those are nice to see, telling everyone that you're driving really a good performing sedan. I have really few complaints back here. My only really real complaint is that the exhausts are not real. On the 2-liter sport turbo version, you really would think you get some real exhaust really connected to here, but no, these are just fake, and there is an actual pipe further back in the car. Overall, a handsome car nonetheless. And let's talk about trunk space real quick. Honda really knocked it out of the park here. You have a huge trunk. I know the lighting may not be good, so I'll try to show you with some B-roll, but like this is a huge trunk and you have a gigantic opening. What's the point of having a huge trunk if you have a tiny opening, too small to fit anything through? Overall, this is very well designed. It's a big trunk and you have these nice levers you can pull right here to unlock the seats so you can push them forward from back here without having to walk around the car. Very smart thinking, very good design, and a very practical vehicle. So let's talk safety real quick, because in any Honda, that's sort of a trademark feature of these cars. This car does have a 5-star overall safety rating, and you're getting your Honda safety sense. So you're gonna get things like lane keep assist, collision mitigation with braking in the front, and adaptive cruise control. A very neat feature of this car is if your phone is connected to it and the airbags deploy when you are in an accident, this car will automatically call emergency services and give them your location within 50 feet. That's a very neat safety feature that all Hondas are getting. Very cool. Now here under the hood of the Accord, you're gonna find a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder turbo engine making 252 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. This is essentially a detuned version of the Type R engine, which makes about 306 horsepower, the one you're gonna find in the Civic Type R. This thing's gonna have a top speed of around 126 miles an hour and do 0-60 in about 5.5 seconds. Some very impressive numbers. You can expect around 22 city and 35 highway using the eco mode in this vehicle. Overall, it's a very impressive engine. That's it for the exterior of this vehicle. Overall, very handsome design. It's not plain, it's not boring, but it still manages to sort of blend in. It's what you want in a vehicle like this. You can be an average person and you're not going to draw a lot of attention, but it's still sporty and nice looking. All right, now let's hop inside. This vehicle does have a smart key access system, so you can see this is what your key fob looks like. Sorry if it's a bit blurry, but you can walk up and basically you're gonna lock the car with this little switch right there, and you're gonna unlock it just by giving it a tug like that, and you're inside the vehicle. So as you get into the Accord, everything here feels very good. Everything that you touch feels very good as you get in the car. You step in and you have some metal pedals right there. It's very nice to see those metal pedals. It's a nice touch that a lot of cars are missing. You put your hand to close the door and you're touching leather. That's great. There's some nice leather right there. You pull it closed, and then I'm not going to close it right now so I don't destroy your ears with the mic. And then you have your start button right here. Honda does a very nice job with their start buttons. All the things you touch when you first get in this vehicle feel very high quality, very good, very impressive. Before we talk about the features of the interior, let's quickly talk about the materials throughout the vehicle. One material that's present a lot, it's not fake carbon fiber, but there is this like sort of weird material right there that looks like fake carbon fiber. It's like a weave. It's present here, it's present on the dashboard, which I'll show you when we move in. You have also a lot of this plasticky metal right here. It looks very nice, and one thing they do with this that I love is that they place it on the window switches. And this probably cost Honda maybe 90 cents, but it makes this car feel far, far more expensive. The way they make the switches that much nicer. Just that much little effort makes such a big difference. You have this sort of, this right here is hard touch, but you have soft touch on your armrest, as I mentioned, where you're grabbing to close the door. As we take a step in, you see your seats. Your seats are comfortable. I do wish at this price point they were fully leather. You do not notice it when you are sitting in them, but if you just feel this material right here in the middle, it does not feel very nice. However, when you're sitting in it, it feels fine. The seats are plenty comfortable. That's not a really big complaint. As we look in here, I'm gonna step in real quick. You can see we have leather on our steering wheel, which does have some stitching on it. That's very nice. Looking in the materials at the center, we have more of this weird weave material I mentioned. You do have your knobs right here with some plasticky metal, and you have more of that plasticky metal right here, which looks nice. It doesn't feel like super real metal, but it looks nice. I really am not going to complain too much about it. Then you have in your center console area, you have this sparkly plastic right here. It's got little flecks in it, and the way the light plays with it is very interesting. And you can see we have more of that weave material rubbing through here. So overall, a very nice looking interior in terms of materials. Let's move on to function. All right, apologies for any air conditioning noise as it is very, very hot outside. Your steering wheel has quite a bit going on here. You can see you have buttons for your active safety features right there. In your gauge cluster, you have a physical speedometer, and then you have a digital screen. So this digital screen is controlled right here. You can see I can press the home button. Typically, this is on a tachometer. So you can scroll up and press in right there, and you will see there is your tachometer, and it almost looks real. It's a very well done design, a very nice looking screen. If you were just driving, it would be hard to tell that one is physical and one is digital. But probably some neat screens you have here. If you press the home button, you can then scroll. You have range and fuel, speed and time, audio, phone, traffic signs. This is neat. So the car will actually read traffic signs. So I'll tell you your speed limit and whatnot. That's a very nice feature, and it uses a camera in the front of the vehicle to do that. And then you have your driver support, your driver attention. This is neat. So if the car notices that the safety assistance features are going off a lot, then these bars will start to deplete. And if all the bars are gone, the car will tell you maybe it's time to pull over and take a rest. Overall, this is a very neat system. I like how this cluster looks. It's very functional, very nice, very easy to use, and it is very good looking. All right, so here we are looking at the infotainment system. I'm going to take you on a tour of this whole center area, but we're going to start up here with your infotainment. Overall, a very simple system. I don't know if I like how it looks. I think it looks a little too simplistic to me. However, it is definitely a function over form, very functional, very practical. This system is very easy to use. As you can see, it is super snappy. Just like that, it goes. It has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. The screen is very clear, very little glare. They did tilt it, and I believe that will help with the glare a bit. Overall, one nice little quirk, a funny quirk in it that I found is that it has a very aggressive beep if you try to go beyond these 2 pages of apps. Take a listen. Those are just 3 kind of sharp, piercing beeps, and I feel like it might be a tad aggressive for people trying to leave the boundaries of what Honda wants to keep you in. You do have these nice physical buttons on the side. I like that you have a physical home button so that no matter what page you're in, you always have an easy way to get back here. Overall, it's a very nice looking system, very snappy system, very usable system, and I like that they have the dials included like this, how they've integrated it almost like they're cutting into the screen. That's very nice looking. I know that some people don't like the tablet style when it's just stuck on here like that. I think some people say that that's automakers being lazy when they don't integrate into the dash. I personally have no issue with it. So moving down from that screen, you have 2 air vents right here. I like how they are outlined in the silver. I don't like when automakers just put the passenger airbag off sign right there like that, but you know, laws are laws. They did probably the best with what they could. Moving down from that, you have this silver outline again. You do have 3-stage heated seats for both sides in this vehicle. And then you have your temperature dials right here. They are made of plastic. I would prefer metal. However, they do feel very good in the sense that they're very clicky. And you can see there is a little light around them that changes as you make it hotter and colder. That's very neat. And then you just sort of have your typical defrosters and whatnot, your fan speed right here. As you can see, as you move it there, it changes in the screen. Very nice. Moving down from there, you have your center area, and there are a few things I want to point out here. First of all is your transmission selector. You have buttons here because that frees up space in the center, and it gives it a more clean, open look. I don't have too much to say about that. I don't know if I like this more than a dial or not. I do definitely like it more than just plain buttons, the way that they've sort of given each function its own type of button. That way it's easy to tell with your hand what your hand is on. Below that, that's nicely outlined in that silver there. And then below that, you have your Econ and your Sport buttons. The Sport button, if you push it, will tighten up the steering, make the engine a bit more aggressive. And you can see if I hit it right here, it does change your tachometer and tell you Sport mode is on. And it gives you a very cool aggressive picture. It gives you some red in the gauges. That is very neat. You also have an Econ button, and Econ will give you maybe 4 to 6% better mileage. It turns down the engine power and the car's electricity output. If you press that button, you can actually hear the AC cool down, like it won't go as hard. So that's very neat. And if you push that, you will see it grows a little tree in the vehicle cluster. So that's very neat. Also down there, you have your electronic parking brake. Electronic parking brakes are nice over physical ones. I never knew what the big advantage was of electronic brakes over physical ones. However, Andy here just explained to me what it is. So basically, the reason they do it is because in a physical parking brake, people can pull it too hard sometimes, and over time they'll wear out the wire and it will result in it braking faster. So this is a more reliable system, and also it just frees up space compared to a physical handle. Then below that, you have brake hold, which is a very cool function. Essentially with brake hold, if you press that button, the car will not move until you put your foot on the gas. So if you bring it to a complete stop, the car will stay there until you put your foot on the gas. That's a very neat feature. And overall, Honda is just known for neat little features like that. Very practical, very useful things. You have 2 cup holders right here, and then you also have a storage cubby right here, which is very large. You have a USB-A and a cigarette lighter in there, along with a very healthy amount of storage space. You can see I can fit my whole hand in there. That's very nice. Very good job, Honda. This is very easy to use, this whole area. It's very easy to use, very functional. Your center armrest right here is a little stiff. It's not very soft. The material's a little scratchy, but you open it up and you will find a good amount of storage space. Pretty good for this type of vehicle. You have a USB-A port and a power outlet right there. That USB port and the one I actually recently showed you will both allow you to connect to Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. One interesting thing is instead of closing shut, this will stay open at pretty much any angle you put it at. It's a very stiff mechanism, but overall very usable, functional space. So here we are in the back of the Accord, and it's a very nice space to be in as a passenger. This is where I would sort of sit if I was a passenger in this vehicle, and as you can see, I have plenty of legroom. You can easily fit 2 adults back here, maybe 3. That might be a bit more of a stretch. You do have a very nice armrest here that is very padded, unlike the one in the front with 2 cup holders in it. You do have air vents back here, which is nice to see. No USB ports back here, no charging outlets, which is a bit disappointing. But overall, the materials you're touching are very nice as a passenger. You have your nice padded armrest. This right here is hard touch, so you have sort of hard touch around you, but then you have this nice metal pull handle right here. You have this nice metal line running through. And the nice thing is some automakers try to put like plastic right here in the back. Honda kept it leather. That's nice. Overall, it's a nice place to be. Headroom is very good. I'm a tall guy. No problem. Overall, very nice. So that's it for this review. Overall, this is a very good sedan. It has a very nice interior, especially for this price point. You're getting a lot of functions, a lot of features. You're getting incredible safety. You're getting a good looking car. It's very handsome. Really, the complaints I had here were trivial, like that exhaust, like that seat material. You have a very impressive 2-liter turbo engine here. If you're going to get an Accord, this might be the one to go for. At $30,000, it's very well priced. Again, a big thanks to Jim Coleman Honda for letting us take a look at this vehicle. They have some great prices. They have a huge inventory. Check them out. Their website will be in the description below. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel for weekly videos just like this. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great week.